Hello, how are you? This is Muse Television and I'm your host, Mr. Makitosi. Welcome. And today we are going to discuss about higher education learning outcome. Today I have an interesting gift for you. A profession from University of Dar es Salaam, Mr.
Mohamed Shekue Swalehe, an economy tutor from the University of Dar es Salaam.
Mr. Mohamed, tell us a little bit about the higher education learning outcome. What is higher education learning outcome?
Okay, thank you. When we are talking about the higher education learning outcome, firstly, we need to know about the higher education. Higher education refers to the scope of knowledge and skills imparted by the tertiary education, but it excludes both primary and secondary level of education, and it includes the full academic professional training and the intermediary training provided by the universities and the non-universities. Also, university refer to the highest level of higher learning institution, which mainly focusing with research, teaching, and the public service. And learning outcome, this has a personal or benefit that follows as a result of learning. This benefit can be measured in terms of ability of learners or achievement, what learners achieve after learning a certain course or after finishing their studies from a certain program. Also, learning outcome refer to what learners know or can do as a result of learning. But in higher education institution, a learner can be benefited from the learning outcome in various ways. For example, can be benefited through the issue of employment opportunities, also civic engagement, a better social status, a ability to pursue further studies, also a full complement of his fulfillment of life. Thus, it is all about the learning outcome. So when we are dealing with the learning outcome, is not what learners know about what he or she is teaching from the class, but what he know or what he or she can do after finishing their studies or after finishing a certain courses of studies.
In life, we have different dimensions. So, is there also different categories of learning outcomes?
Yes, there are a lot of learning outcome, but there are four main basic learning outcome, which are cognitive learning outcome, skills learning outcome, knowledge learning outcome, and the last one it is non-cognitive learning outcome such as psychosocial development. But also, according to Michael Astin in 1984, he said that a learning outcome in higher education are not simply the quality or consequence of higher education quality, but rather a function of student engagement in higher education opportunities present.
The world now, we are in 21st century. The technology is so changing. So, is there any reasons for the higher education learning outcome?
Yes, of course, as we know, nowadays we are in 21st century world and there is a huge advancement of science and technologies which perform very well in various aspects, especially in education in the world. So there is need for the assessment of higher learning education because of a growing focus on student learning, and we need to emphasize on student-centered approach rather than teaching learning processes. But also a global trends in higher education and the wider participation because of expansion of higher education system nowadays throughout the world. So we need to assess our learning outcome in order to improve and to prepare a graduate who will be professional that will be able to compete in the 21st century world labor demand. And those professionals we expect to have the skills such as communication skills, management skills, critical thinking skills, and the problem solving.
So, apart from those reasons, what are the possible solutions that should be done in higher education learning outcomes?
Yes, First, we need to assess our provision of higher education from various institutions in the country for the purpose of improving the learning outcome in this higher education institution. So we need to conduct a various kind of assessment, such as summative assessment, which aim to yield the result that are useful in guiding subsequent action from this higher education institution, but also a formative assessment. This will be able to yield at responding to the accountability demand of some organizational authority from this higher education institution in the country. But we need to conduct various researches from different higher education institutions in overall the country in order to get ways on how to improve or to get a state way of improving our learning outcome from the higher education institution. But also we need to get support from the government through the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, such as provision of proposing the changing of the curriculum in higher education in Tanzania.
Okay, Mr. Muhammad, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks everyone. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. This is Muse Update Television, and I'm your host, Mr. Makitosi. Stay tuned for the next class. Have a good day.